Here we are. Good morning.
Here we are.
Mike, are you on? Now, I see the light through there, so you're not on the West Coast.
No, I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Ah. Do you know Harrisburg is where I spent New Year's Eve 1999 into 2000?
I didn't know that.
A lot of people forget that.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that.
They sleep on the fact that you spent New Year's Eve.
So that was a huge New Year's. You guys were obviously too young for...
I wasn't too young.
I remember
it.
Well, remember it, but not like go out for New Year's. I mean, you were, so I was dating this awful...
I was 10.
Yeah. So I was dating this awful girl, but we had to have plans because it's like the biggest New Year's Eve ever. But I don't like going to bars and stuff. So the band Live announces they're going to play New Year's Eve in Hershey. Okay, I don't like Live that much, but it's a concert. She likes them. Plans, whatever. Prepaid for a hotel room out there. Harrisburg is close. Day before, lead singer of Live, sick, cancels. New Year's Eve, 1999. Like it might be the last New Year's Eve ever. They sang songs about this. So what'd we do? The prepaid hotel room in Harrisburg. We just hung out at that hotel, got in a fight, ate some shitty buffet, and went to bed.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't explore the state's capital, or was a good rock climbing gym in Harrisburg?
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
CJ with the Rex.
Yeah.
I think was I fat at the time? Yes. So I wasn't rock climbing. Not that a fat person couldn't rock climb, but just I wasn't, an exercising fat person. Shout out Harrisburg, though.
I like Harrisburg.
Shout out Hershey.
Shout out Hershey, sweetest place on earth.
When I
Where I
when I
lived in
first-
Chicago in River North smelled like chocolate. There was a legit chocolate factory in that area. I think the residents ended up suing the chocolate factory because it smelled like chocolate all the time.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Should have been thrown right out of court.
The Nabisco factory in Philly used to smell
Yes.
very good every time you drove by.
Yes. Right off the boulevard there. All right. Let's get to going.
Let's go.
Can't find my thing. There it is. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by Big Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. Get yours at bigbarker.com/Ricky. BodyBio. Get 20% off any BodyBio product at bodybio.com with promo code Norman. Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process, at 302-864-8643. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official sponsor of the Corner 3 newsletter with Zoe. Subscribe at rightstoRickySanchez.com/newsletter. On the show today, a new banning, maybe two bannings. A special event announcement will happen in the middle of the pod with a special guest. Also, one of those bannings might have to be the Sixers. We'll explain that. Eric Gordon's role. It's just that we're in the 7th August, I would say. Another one of our podcasts is the Draft Council that is hosted by Dan Olinger, our own The Danny, and Ahmed Jama. They have a new episode this week on the best players who could be in next year's NBA draft who are returning to college. So non-freshman, non-international players, returning college players. You can get the Draft Council wherever you get your podcast. And I did mention Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka. Just think of this. Think of Phillies playoff games at Citizens Bank Park, assuming they don't blow it. And there's just how many Surfside cans at one time at Citizens Bank Park? There's like 43,000 seats or whatever. I don't know, 25,000 Surfsides at one time, at any time. People drink it because it's the best. It's only 100 calories, only 3 grams of sugar, no bubbles, because iced tea should not have any bubbles. And just, Ike and I did a Surfside event the other night. There's so many different varieties now. You see them all laid out. There's the green tea and vodka, the iced tea lemonade and vodka, the raspberry tea and vodka. There's so many. Go to statesidevodka.com. You can order a sampler pack there or wherever you buy your canned alcoholic beverages. Without any further ado, Amos and the Chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, Say the name. Say the name.
Say the name. Say the name. I say the name. I say the name. Say the name.
Likes Tricky Sanchez forever.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy coming to us from a state capital. One state capital. Do we know which one? Who knows? That is Mike Levin.
Oh, I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Spike.
There you
I
go.
said at the beginning of the podcast, I'm here for one of my best friend's wedding. I'm a groomsman. I'm on Los Angeles time doing a podcast this early because at 10 a.m. we are digging a hole.
Are you killing one of the groomsmen?
No, there's a whole planting thing. The wedding's going to be on his farm.
Okay.
And we're digging a hole. I didn't pack for hole digging
digging?
activity. It was sort of a spur of the moment thing,
Okay.
but we're going to do it. And then I'm going to give a speech later that day.
Wow. Big day for
And-
you.
And here we are. My brain is operating at max capacity.
Great.
It's
Well-
all there. So let's see what I can pop out of it for entertaining podcast right here.
Well, it's at this point in the off season, is there really a difference between you have a sleep, not have a sleep?
So many Augusts. I'm in deep August of my career as well. Just like fucking driving. Okay, well we're doing it here. I missed the podcast on Wednesday because work ran too late. I didn't want to keep you and CJ up.
Yep.
We are we're surviving. We're surviving here.
Wait, what was I going to say? Oh, this happens to me all the time. I forget what I was going to say. So it's gone. Well, here we are. Oh, well, I mean, we're basically 2 weeks from camp. Camp starts October 1st. So we're not, the end is in sight,
Yeah.
But as they like to say, or as Metallica said in the song Mike loves, No Leaf Clover, sometimes the light you see at the end of your tunnel is just a freight train coming your way. So
Yeah.
Mike always quotes that song.
Enter Sandman.
No,
That's what they
no,
say.
no leaf clover. Yes,
That's what
yes.
they
Sometimes
say.
you'll say exit light, enter night.
Yeah.
Occasionally. So I mentioned a banning at the top of the pod. It's sad in that it's such a legendary newspaper now / website. But so the New York Times did an article about the Sixers' potential move to New Jersey. And who did they call? A guy who doesn't
knows?
live in Philadelphia or New Jersey and
Nope.
hates all aspects of business and finance and building.
Mr. Business.
Mr. Business. They call Mike. And Mike gave some great quotes. So I'll get to the banning part of it toward the end here. I almost can't. All right, I'll skip the intro of you. But it says, Mike Levin, 34, television writer, ... grumbled that the team's owners, Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment...
Grumbled. I like grumbled.
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 Would
Me on the
most-
phone. Me on the phone driving to work. Grumbling my ass off.
But when you read the quotes, it's
No,
accurate.
100%.
Yeah.
It's just it's always funny to see someone else transcribe
Yep.
how you are.
Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment would most likely, quote, do whatever makes the most money and therefore be tempted by the generous offer from New Jersey officials, tax breaks and incentives totaling more than $1 billion to support the construction of a new arena and development on the site of a former state prison near the Benjamin Franklin Bridge. Quote, Philadelphia has made fun of the New York Giants for so long for not playing in New York, said Levin, his voice rising with indignation.
my voice, my voice is always rising with indignation.
Yep. And then the Philadelphia 76ers, named after 1776, are going to, you basically just did your pod rant to him, which is why your rant was so good, your practice, are going to go from Philadelphia to Jersey because of a tax break, then we get made fun of? That would be embarrassing. Levin noted that the team in the last several years has generally underachieved on the court and has already, quote, produced a list of public scandals and embarrassments and proceeded for several minutes to enumerate a catalog that was, in fact, far too convoluted to include in this article.
That I think is is the best thing that's ever been written about me.
Yes.
This guy fucking won't shut up, and we don't have the time.
About shit I don't care about.
If you want to hear about it, consult 11 years of podcasts.
Yep.
They're all available.
Quote, so I don't think that people are going to renounce their Sixers fandom because of this if they haven't already, he said, laughing, because there have been plenty of reasons to do so. Okay.
My voice was still rising with indignation by that point. Just
By
keep in
the
mind that
end,
entire
it
thing,
was-
it was rising the entire time.
Yeah. So all right. So a very fair. I thought he used enough of your quotes. Basically, certainly, I've heard this rant, and it certainly captured exactly what you said and believed. But here's the problem. I skipped what was written in the intro. Michael Levin, 34, a television writer who co-hosts a long-running podcast about the 76ers. Yeah. And
Well,
it's linked.
yeah, be fair to it.
It's linked.
It is highlighted and linked
But here's
to in the New York Times, the website
Okay.
of the Red Stricky Sanchez.
yes. So someone on Twitter said to me, a link isn't enough. And I said, here's what I want you to imagine. He's writing an article about baseball or something. And he writes, Bryce Harper, who plays for a popular Philadelphia sports team, and then links back to the Phillies. Like, how crazy is that? Just put it in the fucking article. You're banned. You're banned. I'm sorry. You're banned. You're banned. You're banned.
That's so funny. Do you think Andrew, the guy who interviewed me, was very nice? Do you think this is an editorial decision?
Well,
Like
so
he put it in there, and then it was like someone was
Pulled
like,
out?
"No."
here's my
No.
here's
I want to hear that conversation. I would love to have heard the conversation between Andrew and his editor of like, well, we got to say where he's from, what the business, whatever, and the editor being like, too risky,
yeah.
could be weird.
Well, so here's the issue for them. The issue obviously is they are suffering from the thing that Philadelphia media suffered from in the beginning, and then we shamed them into it because it's the New York Times. Even though, by the way, I've been quoted in the New York Times on Sixers stuff a few times, and they've put the name of the podcast in there. So they are someone there has to be aware, but they're
Well,
avoiding
not even
it.
following their own rules, not
Yeah.
consistent about whether they name our podcast or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. The New York Times has to be banned.
Wow.
There's no choice. I'm sorry. The quote unquote paper of record, isn't that what people call the New York Times or something? So, fucking gone, done. Sorry.
It is. I do hate generally being like transcribed by someone else and then quoted back because I just fucking seem so stupid all the time.
Yep.
And I feel like if you hear me say it or if I write it, then I can make myself sound slightly less stupid. But when someone else does it, usually I don't. But I do think that these few paragraphs really distilled me about as good as you can.
Yeah. As I said, I thought this was, having heard this very rant on the podcast,
Because this warmed me up.
this warmed you up, because I could tell you were like, it's every once in a while I can say, oh, Mike has something here lined up in his head. So the thoughts were already organized. You could tell because you had done it once. And I thought he captured it well, but you got to say the name of the podcast. I mean, this is classic say the name shit. Classic say the name shit. So if you'd like to get unbanned, we will accept a correction/retraction, or you don't have to retract anything. You just have to correct it and apologize. So
That's it.
the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Big Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. I'm going to say this very simply. The only way that you can prove that you love your dog is by getting your dog a Big Barker. It's the only way. We have 2 dogs, 2 Big Barkers. Your dog's health is important. Your dog's comfort is important. Your dog's happiness is important. And a Big Barker, believe it or not, the only real bed engineered by experts and made for dogs, real bed, will do all of those things. Go to bigbarker.com.
And the experts who engineered them,
What about them?
they're dogs.
They are dogs. Dog experts.
Dogs for dogs. For
That's
dogs
how
by
they
dogs.
know. Yep, that's how they know. Go to bigbarker.com/Ricky. You get the Big Barker Therapeutic Dog Bed. If you go there, you get 2 Process Pup patches to put on there. You get this black and white one. You get red, white, and blue one, some stickers. But most importantly, you get a bed that is going to support your dog's joints in a way that will keep your dog healthier for longer. Keep your dog springy. You know, if your dog's young, the earlier you can get the dog in the Big Barker, the better. But if your dog is older and already starting to suffer from some of the, you know, effects of arthritis and aging, this will ease their joints and actually sort of bring some of that, what's it called? Some of that activity back. The truth is that what you sleep on matters. What a human sleeps on matters, obviously. You sleep on a bad bed somewhere. You've done it. You've stayed in an Airbnb or a hotel somewhere. You're like, shitty bed. You feel bad the next day. What if you're putting your dog on a bad bed? You can't do that. Your job as a dog owner is to keep that dog happy and healthy. You got to get your dog a Big Barker. They look great too. Comes in all sorts of colors, all sorts of configurations, all different sizes from tiny, you know, the Barker Jr. all the way up to the extra large. Get your dog a Big Barker. Send us a photo of your dog on the Big Barker. We make that dog a Process Pup. There's a 10-year warranty. The foam doesn't flatten, or they replace it for free. A 1-year at-home trial if your dog doesn't like it. If you don't like it, they'll give you a full refund and even pay for the shipping. It's handmade in the USA. Big Barker dog beds.
Wow.
So from one banning to potentially, I don't know, another. Now, this one I'll let you judge, obviously, in that I don't have a decision on this one. The Sixers did a sort of 11-minute video celebrating Joel Embiid's gold medal. I thought it was a good video.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many people watch 11-minute videos on Twitter. You know, it took me 6 different times to get through it. And the only way I got through it to the end is because somebody told us that we were in the video. So there's a lot of like, you know, clips from different media, so on and so forth. Hopefully we don't get USOC copyright strike for this one. There's no footage in this one, so I think we're fine. But here is some of the audio about 11 minutes into the video.
America won. Joel Embiid found a way to come back and defeat Serbia.
What a big performance from Joel Embiid.
It's just awesome. I mean, it's cool. It is Avengers type stuff.
There we go. So they used a clip of the podcast without our permission in their video.
And kind of a weird clip of the podcast.
Yeah, this is maybe the only just sort of us being, you know, giant Sixer fan guys or whatever. You know. So do we have to ban the Sixers, or is this they didn't give credit to the person before us either. I don't know who that was. So is this a bannable offense, or is this a, wow, we've really sold out, we've come so far that they are comfortable including our audio in the video, or are they trying to buy us by including the audio in the video?
I think it's number 2. I think I'm open to the fact that it could be number 3. I like to be bought.
Yes.
Buy my ass out, please.
Mm-hmm.
Buy my ass out like Gershon Yabusele coming over from Real Madrid. It has been far that we have come.
Yeah.
We've rang the bell.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the Embiid video for the Olympics. Yeah, the decision to put us in there.
It's a weird one.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
It is odd. It is an odd choice. Long ass video, a lot of pictures of Joel, a lot of talking about Joel from him, hearing what he has to say, and then at the end, just maybe it was like, maybe there was a version of this video that was centered around us, where it was us talking about it a lot, and then someone heard it and was like, no, definitely not that. And they're like, all right, we'll leave a little bit. And then he just like pairs it down all the way to like just that one little comment that they wanted. One
little clip. So maybe there's a Ricky fan in the editing room that lost the war, but won one small battle.
Yeah. Release the Ricky Joel cut.
I love that you jumped to, maybe there's one where the only audio is us.
That happens
We
sometimes.
hardly even talked about the Olympics.
But there could have been. There was more in that podcast at least. There's some that happens sometimes where like you're writing a script and then you like pull things out, and then there's still like vestiges of the previous version that are still just like way smaller. And
sure.
And that feels, if I was at a table read for that thing, I'd be like, well, that wasn't set up. Mike and Spike, What's going on there? Something there had to be a preview, like a when you're watching. What's a movie with this where you could tell
There's like an edit somewhere.
there's an edit that it was cut out.
Right.
There was more. Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a famous version.
Oh, really?
Of this, where it's like you could tell there was a lot more about like going on with Steve Martin and his wife. There's like strife between them that they just like totally pulled out from that movie. You can tell there's like looks there that are supposed to mean something. That
Oh, really?
You can just
I'm going to go back and watch it. Okay, I didn't know
There was
that.
definitely that kind of storyline there, and it happens all the time. But that's the one that I think of the most, and I feel like we are a little bit of the trouble in Steve Martin's marriage in that Joel clip. I think that's us.
What a great movie. That, by the way, when you watch it back, it does feel sort of incomplete on some level. It feels it almost feels like the TV edit of whatever that movie is when you're watching it,
It's a great movie. Love
Yeah, it is a great movie. You're going the wrong way. How do you know where I'm going?
Yeah.
Love that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Before we get to our special guest, we haven't done a Jigsaw in a while, and we got a special listener submitted Jigsaw. So let's
Here we
do one
go.
of those.
Play.
I will play this game.
Game we play.
I will play this game.
I miss you.
I will play this game.
I'm worried. Play.
I will play this game.
And after the game, they were interviewing him, and they said, how does it feel to win the ultimate game? And he said, if it's the ultimate game, why are they playing it again next year?
There you go. Mike, how do you feel about the Jigsaw mega edit now, knowing that Doug Collins thing comes from a Bill Simmons podcast?
Yeah, I was thinking that as I was hearing it. It's such a stupid quote. It really is. And he said it like he was dropping such a bomb. Oh, Doug.
By the way, Tim the commenter on YouTube says rights to Ricky Sanchez appears in the New York Times archives twice. August 15th, 2023, quoting Spike on the Harden discontent, and 2020, quoting Embiid saying Philly doesn't have to, quoting Embiid. That doesn't make sense. Embiid saying Philly doesn't have to worry about the shushing thing.
Quoting Embiid from the podcast, maybe.
Oh, yes, that's probably what it is. Yes.
What's
yes,
the
yes.
shushing thing?
Yeah, because maybe we talked to him about when did he shush before?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
We've been doing this too long.
Yeah. All right. Well, whatever. There we go. All right. This comes from Charlie. Here's the Jigsaw. Morning, fellas. I don't think there's been enough bathroom talk so far, so I came with a Jigsaw. This is inspired by something I saw someone do at a Phillies game recently, which makes this even funnier. Both of these situations would be for the rest of your life and apply to every bathroom you go into. Number one, every time you pee, you need to pull your pants down to your ankles like you were 4 years old.
Yeah, we've had that. Yeah.
Yep. Number two, every time you take a shit, you need to keep the door open. And just so we're not cheating out of this, it's open, not cracked open.
Not correct.
Yeah.
And this is in public, so this would be at my office.
Yeah, this is tough. Oh, goodness gracious, it's tough.
Not a great one. And I feel like I'm always in there with people that I'm like, you got to make conversation at the urinal. Or you got to pointedly not make conversation at the urinal.
Yep.
It would be tougher if my pants are in my
Well,
ankles.
maybe it starts the conversation.
This is a really no good situation.
Well, that's the idea. I know what I would choose.
All right, what would you choose?
Well, I'd choose the pants down thing because I just feel like I could avoid urinals. Now, being in a stall, standing up with your pants around your...
That's not the spirit of the question.
Okay, then I would still pick it. Shitting with the door open is a total fear. I don't even... When I go number two in the house and there's nobody in the house and no one coming to the house, I still close and lock the door. Yeah. But peeing every once in a while, I'll just leave the door open.
I think that if I became the guy that pulled his pants down to his ankles at work, that would potentially, if I play it right, count as Riz. I think I could spin that into it being Riz.
Yeah, nobody thinking the guy who shits with the stall door open is Riz. And then if you're in a situation where it is a, one person bathroom somewhere in an office, you got to leave that door open.
That's true.
That's fucking awful.
I think that's an untenable one, and I think
Yeah.
with P, you can try to hit the window of possibility.
Well, we will bring on our special guest to announce it is not officially a Ricky event, but it is a Ricky adjacent event. Now, it's adjacent. There he is.
Here we are. Look at that. A Ricky and Jason event.
Yeah. Now, Jason Lipshutz, famous for two things, which is one, not getting us the answer we deserve on Casey Musgraves.
Yeah, we're going to pin the wall on that.
Yeah. And two, he is the executive director for music over at Billboard, and maybe the most mentioned person in the history of the pod who has never been on the pod before, who isn't a Sixer.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I've come up, and this is my first time on the Ricky. So this is... I might have the record for the most mentions, while also not playing basketball.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that you'd never been on the podcast.
No, he's been on the Carl Landry Record Club a few times, but never the Ricky.
Little intel for Jason after the live Ricky that we did before my honeymoon.
Yes,
I drove up to Jason's home and slept in his home in. Can I say where you're from? Where you live?
Oh yeah. Always.
Nutley, New Jersey. What a name.
Yeah, I lived in Nutley when I moved up here.
And then flew to Europe from there. It was
that's like kind of like the common thinking is like marriage, Lipshutz household, honeymoon.
Right over the honeymoon.
It's usually
marriage, Nutley, Europe. That's it.
Yeah.
So
live pod.
Yeah. So let me get the event information out first about what we're going to do, and then we can talk about it. So there will be a live Carl Landry Record Club and new metal and Linkin Park dance party night at Underground Arts on November 20th at night with Jason to celebrate the release of his new awesome book. By the way, Jason was nice enough to send me a copy of the book. It is excellent. The new book, it starts with The Legend and Legacy of Linkin Park. Obviously, big news now with Linkin Park relaunching with a new singer. And the album, I believe, comes out the week before this, so we'll be able to listen to songs from the new one. So we'll do a live Carl Landry Record Club, me, Mutlu, along with Jason, Andrew Underberg. AU is going to be there. Also, we'll get some special guests. And then, as well, afterwards, we're just going to drink and listen to new metal and Linkin Park all night at Underground Arts, and it'll be awesome. So the tickets the pre-sale is Wednesday, September 18th at 10 a.m. The pre-sale password is Carl, and then the on-sale is the 20th, which is Friday at 10 a.m. 2 tickets. There's the regular ticket, which is just $10. Come in, watch the pod, hang out. The other ticket is $29.08 for the VIP ticket, which will get you get you a book that Jason will sign, meet and greet, photo. We'll do the whole thing. And for tickets, we'll put the link in the description of this pod, but you can just go to carllandryrecordclub.com.
And if people want to buy the VIP ticket and take a photo with AU instead of me, that's totally understandable.
Yes.
I totally understand that. So please do that.
Yeah, we're all eligible, whatever pictures you want. So,
but you gotta sort of say like, not you.
Yes.
Not you.
Yeah. Just pick us. Yeah. So I'm excited to do this. This is the second ever live Carl Landry Record Club. I've been, since the Linkin Park reunion announcement and reading Jason's book, I've always been a huge fan. AU and I did a pod 7 years ago when Chester Bennington passed away talking about Linkin Park. But this has sort of renewed oh my God, they have so many fucking awesome songs. And the book is so good. So I recommend, look, if you already bought the book or something, buy the $10 ticket. Just bring the book if you want to get it signed. I'm sure Jason will sign it. But otherwise, I would suggest you spend the $29.08 and actually get the book because it's going to be cheaper than getting the book anywhere else, actually. Anyway, but it's really great. Really tells the story of the band in ways that like I hadn't thought about before. The book's really, really good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, it's been the book comes out October 1st, and the response to people who have started to read it has been like overwhelming, just because like this is my first book. Like it could have come out and people have been like, what the hell is this? This sucks. And I've been obviously working at Billboard for a long time, but I've never written anything a tenth as long as this book. And so the fact that like you've been so supportive has been awesome. Anybody who's read it seems to be really enjoying it. So yeah, and then we're a couple weeks away from pub date. So I'm so excited about. So here's my question for you to go back to the event though.
Yeah.
So it is a new metal dance party.
Yes.
Maybe Linkin Park, a ton of different songs that people are going to actually dance to. Will you, Spike?
No dance. I don't dance.
Dance to one song. One song.
I don't dance. You know I'm not a dancer. I've banned dancing.
You don't dance at all?
Well, I spent years going to weddings and having to dance, and I hate every fucking minute of it. And I have good rhythm, I can play an instrument, all that kind of stuff. I just hate dancing so much. So
we'll see.
You're saying you have good rhythm generally, but not good rhythm as a dancer.
No, I guess I could. I don't think I'm a bad dancer.
I feel like there's no way that you are so anti-dancing and yet are a good dancer.
Well, how many people are a good dancer? I don't think I look bad out there. I think to be a decent enough dancer, all you need to do is stay on beat, right? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be one.
I feel like
song.
there was some shame that you are. There's some dancing shame that you're concealing here.
No, I'm just a very self-conscious person in general. How about this? We'll see how many. If we sell all the tickets, I'll dance.
Wow.
So what? All I'm asking is one song.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: dancing, that's a wide range. You could literally go on the dance floor, just kind of raise your arms for a couple minutes. That's fine. That's dancing.
If AU dances with me, I will dance to one song.
Oh, okay. All right. So tickets all need to sell.
Yeah.
And AU needs to dance with you.
And I'm going to send somebody to scout your dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send the Danny. Send the Danny.
Danny is going to be there
to scout your dancing.
Yeah. We're talking about your hips.
Yeah.
Hips are too stiff.
And we love Underground Arts, obviously, has been the home to 3 live Rickies. And thanks to Rich at Underground Arts for hosting us. I think it's going to be a fun night. I'm excited to talk about the band, talk about the book. AU, obviously, big fan of the band as well. And then there's a couple of people, I think, locally in Philly who might be interesting to talk to. I actually know the first time Linkin Park ever played Philly was at the Troc. And I know the guys in Cinch who opened up the show that night. So I was going to ask Jamie, the singer, who's in a Pearl Jam tribute band now, to come out and talk about that as well. But the book is really great, man. I don't want to talk about it too much here because I want to talk about it that night. But the book is really awesome.
I will say, I'm in a hotel room because I'm in a wedding this weekend. And
Same, both you guys.
Oh, are we at the same wedding, Mike?
You're in Harrisburg?
No, I'm in Seneca Lake. I could make the trip. Who knows?
You can leave the wedding you were invited to.
We switch. We do a little swap.
But so I'm in the wedding and at the rehearsal yesterday and the rehearsal dinner, and like everyone I've talked to has been like, "How did your book result in Linkin Park reforming and get like? How did you produce Linkin Park's return?" And I was like, I did not. I did not. And one of my good friends is like, "I don't believe you. Something fishy is happening." And I was like, It's truly a coincidence. They did not like see my book coming out and being like, "Well, you know what we should do."
Did they get a sense? Did you get a sense when you were interviewing them, like of a rekindling?
No. So I didn't interview them for the book, but I have interviewed them a handful of times over the years for Billboard. And, I did a big feature last year when they did the Meteora 20th anniversary. And no, they were certainly planning stuff at that point, but they did not tip their hand at all. So it was, and I've been working on this book for like 2 years. So it truly was it's been a surreal experience of like working on a book for years about a band that's been inactive for over a half decade, and then a couple weeks before the book comes out, like they're in the news every day. So it's been wild.
Well, are we in the book?
So I will say I'm very happy to announce on the Rice Turkey Sanchez that in the acknowledgments I do say the name.
Oh, wow. Is that in the copy that I have? Because I don't think I didn't read the acknowledgments, obviously.
You gotta read the you got an early copy without the acknowledgments.
Yes.
So I won't say what I say, but The Ricky is in the acknowledgments.
Wow.
The only podcast shout out in the
Yes.
That's huge.
Yes.
That's big.
Well, we're psyched.
I asked that as a joke,
big.
and you hoisted it. You hoisted it up.
Yeah.
Well, like we said, it is, the timing is perfect. As Linkin Park is the #1 alternative song in the country, the #1 rock song in the country. Just played the Forum, is playing Barclays Center, and then the album comes out in November. But again, the event November 20th, live pod, new metal dance party, underground arts. The tickets pre-sale is Wednesday. The pre-sale code is Carl, and then the on-sale regular one is Friday, both 10 a.m. The link will be in the description to this pod, but you can also go to carlandryrecordclub.com. We'll post that a little later on today, so you can save it. Look forward to it, buddy.
I'm really excited, and thank you guys for having me on to kind of talk about it.
Well, like Jason, this is your first time on the podcast. Do you have any? You listened to too many of the episodes, like
all of them.
Do you have? What did you think about the lore episode? Do you need to? Is there anything you want to bring up that we don't address?
Question. I promised I will not find the evidence. I'm dead certain that Dave Silver started with an emailer, not Spike.
It did.
I'm dead serious about
Several
that.
other listeners have confirmed that it didn't.
Several.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He doesn't respect it. He's pulling the acknowledgement.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've challenged him to go find the audio, but
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
He's got a kid. He's got a kid and a book coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely true. No, I love it's funny because I have listened to you guys from the very, very beginning, and I just have like a photographic memory of this kind of stuff where, just bits, and like I could probably recite the whole Coven, This Brings Me No Joy thing, like from memory. Cause I'm just like, I don't know. I'm walking my dog all the time, listening to you guys all the time, texting you guys when I'm not listening to you guys. So
shout out Murray, good dog.
Murray, which came from the shelter my wife works at, St. Hubert.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to St. Hubert's.
What is your least favorite take from both of us? Do you have that on hand? One of your either or just your most incorrect ones.
The most incorrect take,
where you've been like, I'm out on Mike. I'm out on Mike forever because of what he's saying right now.
You guys are always too hard on Tobias Harris.
Wow, there it is,
yeah.
And that's it.
He's doing it. We all got bits to do.
And that's that.
It's funny. I would say that Jason. I've always said that for a joke, I only need one person to think something is funny, and then I'm in on the joke. And Jason occasionally has reinforced jokes that I personally liked privately, which just like Party Boy, calling JJ Redick Party Boy, is only because Jason thought it was
really
funny too.
that.
Yeah, so I just kept it. Jason is, and honestly, Jason's an advisor a lot of times for Fly the Process. I'll be like, where should we go? And he'll give the answer. He was the one that said you have to do New Year's Eve in Indiana when I presented the options. So
wow, the Shadow GM.
Yeah, Shadow GM.
Here it is.
Well, the New Metal Night and celebration of Jason's release of his new book. It starts with one again. November 20th. Tickets on sale. Pre-sale is Wednesday and on sale is Friday. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you guys. Yep.
Congrats.
Jason Lipshutz. The book is really, by the way, is just so fucking good. I really love the band, but obviously it sort of wraps up this book in that the what's it called? The reunion hadn't been announced yet. Sort of wraps up with Chester's death and right after that, and sort of got tear in my eye reading it on the beach. It was so well written. And I'm so happy that the band is back, and I think it'll be fun to talk about them, then fun to hang out and listen to some good tunes from 20 years ago or so, 20 or so years ago. Yeah.
Are the acknowledgements not enough?
No.
Does it not count?
It's a music book.
If we're not in the pages, if we're in like an XVI or whatever it is.
Like you want unbelievable.
I'm just like upon second thought, we really should be in. This song reminds me of this podcast I listen to. Right in the text, I think, maybe. Just bringing it up.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by BodyBio. Go to bodybio.com. Use promo code Norman.
Norman.
There it is. The new promo code that's not written anywhere. BodyBio.com, promo code Norman. BodyBio, we love BodyBio. BodyBio is the only supplement company you should be interacting with. They are trusted by over 10,000 doctors and healthcare professionals. That's a real number. Family owned, family operated, and committed to quality. You know, you go in the drugstore sometimes, you see all the supplements on the wall. You know how long some of those have been sitting there? Some giant fucking companies don't care about quality. That's not the way that BodyBio is. And their newest product, Fish Oil Plus, is a big differentiator there. You've been hearing about fish oil products for like years. It is good for you. And the problem is it became so popular that the product has gotten worse because there's like bad farmed fish practices, which means bad fish oil production, which means stuff sitting on the shelf forever leads to rancid, oxidized fish oil, all that kind of stuff. Basically, if you read the labels are all going to be similar. The difference is that BodyBio's Fish Oil Plus is just a better product. They use wild herring caviar, that's the main ingredient, and then gently extract the nutrients and then test every single batch. So your body is actually just going to absorb more of the good stuff than if you take a shitty quality of this. It's just, that's the difference. So all of the benefits of fish oil, from anti-inflammatory properties, to like all of that stuff, just better with Fish Oil Plus. So if you take a fish oil supplement, somebody in your family does, just try this. I'm telling you, it's going to be better for you. Go to bodybio.com, use promo code Norman for 20% off. That is bodybio.com, promo code Norman for 20% off any product. Okay. You know, one of my favorite signings from the offseason, probably my favorite signing, is Eric Gordon, because aside from Paul George, obviously, because I've wanted him to be on the Sixers for a very long time. AU, who will be at that live pod, by the way, wrote an article about Eric Gordon. The title was, "I Still Can't Believe Eric Gordon is Actually Finally a Sixer," but actually goes through his feelings, being that, you know, Eric Gordon is a very, very, very willing shooter, sometimes too willing for AU's taste, and wondered aloud just sort of whether we got him at the right time, the wrong time, and what his role would be. I think he is sneakily, Paul George aside, the most important on-court signing of the Sixers. Now I know overall Caleb Martin, probably better player overall. Kelly Oubre, I don't know. I actually think Eric Gordon is underrated given what he provides. And I think the only thing that could dampen that is if we finally hit the year where he just loses it completely. But I actually think Eric Gordon is a guy that's probably shockingly going to play like 30 minutes a game. Curious as to what you think the role for Gordon will be and your optimism on the signing.
Yeah, I mean, his at least playing time wise, he's still getting it.
Yeah.
Last season he averaged 28 minutes a game in Phoenix. I do think that his defense has tailed off. But he does exactly what he does, which is launch deep threes and hit them at a pretty good clip. And that is what they need him to do. And especially because Buddy Hield needed to have his tippy toes on the line and more space than they expected. That signing just did not really work out. And Eric Gordon that's not going to be that problem.
Yeah.
So I mean, in my mind, I've been penciling in Eric Gordon for 13, 14 minutes a game, and kind of assuming a tail off, just because it seems like that's the way that this would happen.
For context, by the way, he played 28 minutes a game for the Suns last year, and actually a skill set that is remarkably duplicated on the Suns. You know, it's not like there's a shortage of people who will shoot the ball, whereas I think he's actually more valuable on the Sixers. Now, certainly not doubting that he could be a 14-minute-a-game guy, but last 4 years, 29 minutes, 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 28 minutes.
Yeah,
it's still crazy.
A lot of tread on those tires, but they haven't had this kind of, you know, it's really him and Covington when he was good, as far as just sort of a willingness to pull from that deep off the catch. Because even like, you know, Seth wasn't taking deep threes. JJ wasn't taking deep threes.
Mm-mm.
Bellinelli wasn't taking deep. I mean, I'm just thinking of like guys that have been really around James Ennis. It's hard to imagine. It was like, when Brett instituted the longer 3-point line for Dario and Covington. That's sort of what I remember of them taking deep ones. But it's really just been Maxey taking step backs.
Yep.
And I think that Gordon, if he still has it, and him and Daryl are pretty inextricably linked as like the kinds of, Eric has said he came because of Daryl, which is not something you normally say from a GM perspective. And it seems like Daryl knows what he wants him to do, and Eric is happy to do that. So yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit of like Daryl got his Houston guy back, and a little bit of Spike finally got Eric Gordon on the Sixers.
Yeah.
But actually, as far as like practically what happens, and I've said he could start because I think he could. I think skill set wise, he could start and bump Oubre to the bench as sort of like a come in there with his hair on fire type of thing, and balance it out because Oubre and Caleb Martin have a little bit of overlapping skill sets and weaknesses. But I hadn't considered that he could be playing like 20, 27, 28 minutes a night, and I don't think they need him to. I would love for him to be committed on defense all the time, but the offensive skill set is hugely helpful, and he is still a tank on, at least in the post and one-on-one. Like, he's not going to get bullied down there. So
no, he's very strong. Physically super strong, sort of built like a smaller PJ, Tucker a little bit. And the one thing, when I was talking about the article, the one thing not to get caught up in, I think, is what a guy like this percentage-wise shoots from three year to year, in that, like, it's almost like if Kelly Oubre just happened to shoot 38% from three one year, I don't think defenses are changing how they're playing him. And the same thing with he's not that great a shooter way. Whereas Eric Gordon, I think, would have to become very bad for his gravity to not. There's actually a good article Dan Devine pointed out to me from Caitlin Cooper from a few years back at 538, just about the gravity that Eric Gordon has, regardless of whether the shots are going in or not that year. And we get very, very locked in on that 40% number and how close it is to it. But if Eric Gordon's shooting the number was 8 threes a game, the difference between 36% and 40% is literally one made three every 4 games. That, like, it's crazy to think about it, but like, that's the truth. So I think from a realistic point of view, is the other team scared of him shooting is almost more important than what is his specific percentage that year,
Yeah.
Sort of in 100%. A Danny
100%.
Green way, but he's a better shooter than Danny Green,
Yeah.
So
100%. I mean, it's always about how the defense covers you. And
Yep.
if the defense has to account for you and they are not helping off you to double Joel or like, you running through screens can help leverage, an open roller, because the defense then has to communicate so quickly to come out on you, and you get an open look that way. I think that definitely matters more than if you shoot like 40% or 36%.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's those percentages. Yeah. Yes. I'm excited to see it. I mean, there was an article, I think I was reading Rich Hoffman, and it was really just like, Daryl has done his job this offseason.
Oh my God, has he ever?
The team is assembled. They have the picks to then, midway through the season, go and trade KJ Martin for a better power forward. Like, that can also shoot. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith is like, should be number 1 on everybody's trade rankings, basically, because he fits so nicely in there. But they just have to go do it. Like, they just have to do it. It all worked out this offseason, and the Sixers, I think, won the offseason pretty handily as far as like who got better, who just has a better, improved their station. But they got to go do it. They got to go do it. He can't be wrong. He can't be wrong about all of them. You can't be wrong. If Eric Gordon is like totally toast, and Kyle Lowry is totally toast, and Reggie Jackson is not engaged and everything, like, you're kind of like, well, if Drummond doesn't have it anymore, if Drummond, like, Montrez is out there, like, no, it can't go all wrong. But I think like you look around and you go, this team is really good. It's going to come down to the chemistry between those three guys, and if Joel can stay healthy once again.
Yeah, well, you can make the Daryl just signed another Rockets guy joke on the Eric Gordon thing, but overall, you can't really dispute the offseason, and I think the national media response has been the same way. Yeah. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process, Ksebe, Ksebe. Look, we actually heard when we were talking about a mortgage CS the last time that they have had a few Ricky listeners come in and talk about getting a mortgage for their second home. Well, if you want that second home to be on the Delaware beaches, and if you had a choice, New Jersey or Delaware, I would tell you Delaware. The property tax is way lower. You get everything you want, not any of the stuff that you don't want. Adam Ksebe, the official realtor of the process, is the guy to help you. Ksebe. Ksebe. His cell is 302-864-8643 or adam@processrealtor.com. Adam's team is based out of Long and Foster in Bethany Beach, and they have all of Delaware just sort of locked down, all of Maryland too, so Ocean City, Maryland, that sort of stuff. If you want to buy or sell a house in Delaware or Maryland, and that includes down on the Delaware beaches where Adam knows every nook and cranny, he's the guy. And as you can imagine, if you've tried to buy a house anytime in the last 3 years, having a good realtor, a difference-making realtor, is a big advantage. It's not a lot of houses out there. There's a lot of competition. You need a realtor like Adam to help you get you one. And if you want to buy or sell a home outside of Delaware or Maryland, he can't do it, but he can be your resource. Call or text Adam. He'll find out what you need. He'll interview other realtors and find you your realtor. Again, 302-864-8643 is the number, or adam@processrealtor.com. That is adam@processrealtor.com. Actually, fitting, let's do relationship advice.
I keep my heart under my pillow with my teeth and other lies. I've been waiting on your halo just to shine the light.
All right, there we go. Relationship advice theme song by Eliza Hardy-Jones. By the way, reported to me last night, speaking of Eliza Hardy-Jones, at last night's War on Drugs show in Forest Hills, New York, Eliza was introduced by Adam, singer of War on Drugs, as, quote, Philadelphia 76ers season ticket holder, and then he screamed, "Say the name," at her, as Eliza on stage was wearing her Heavy Slime shirt from Live Ricky 5.
Very cool.
Which said, "Say the name."
He does introduce her that all the time. And I'm seeing that show in, what, a month here? Yes.
Yeah. And Live Drugs is out now. No, Live Drugs 2, Live Drugs Again, the new live album out right now. Yeah. So here is relationship advice. Hey, Spike, Mike, CJ, Harold, and LL. I also find, by the way, since we started doing relationship advice, we get almost too many to get to now, but here we go. I find myself in a situation involving a canceled engagement. I would have been the 413th Rights Ricky Sanchez listener engaged, but I had my plans ruined. I was going to go on a fishing trip in New Jersey. Toward the end of the trip, around midnight, my ring was going to be on the hook of my fishing rod, and I would have pretended to suddenly have a fish on the line.
Wow.
I planned for one of the crewmates to come over and help me reel it in to add to the drama. Unfortunately, the captain canceled the trip due to bad weather. Now I am holding on to the ring, and I can't figure out a good idea that would be as epic as that one. I had taken money out of our joint checking account to get the ring, and I've been telling her it's a surprise and it's coming soon. Any ideas on what I could do to match the epic proposal that I could have had?
Well, she knows.
Yes.
It's a surprise and it's coming soon is not subtle.
No.
I think just try to do the trip again. Right?
You could do that. My theory, as I've repeated years since we started having LL, is that if somebody wants to marry you, they're going to be happy with how you propose, unless it's a fucking awful disaster. So whatever,
put effort into it, and what I think this is a fun amount of effort.
Yeah. What if you did this? Well, it seems like a little bit of, same as the fishing thing. What if you went to some local fucking Dave & Buster's or arcade or some shit, and they were able to put the ring on the claw game, and you're like, hey, let's play the claw game, and it goes down, it brings a ring, you open it up, it's a fucking ring.
That I respect the sanctity of the claw game too much to propose that. If they can break in and just put something in the claw, then I
Yeah.
think that changes too much for me.
So I mentioned, I sent him a note. I didn't know how much time he had. I told him how I proposed, which involved planning because it was right around my wife's birthday and her friends ended up being there. But I did it in a photo booth as the photo booth was taking the pictures.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I have an actually horrified, a picture of my wife looking horrified as as she was not expecting it at all and started panicking. Actually never said yes.
I think that's common.
But you get the real picture, like an all-time picture. So
yeah,
there you
I
go.
want to say, as you were saying it, because people now list the people that they have to say hello to at the beginning of an email, including Harold Morey, and usually LL. But I think we should be LL and also LLton. I think LLton should get a little.
That's actually very funny. I like LLton.
LLton. Ladies love Elton Brand.
Elton Brand, but they do. I bet Elton Brand's a handsome guy, smooth guy. Yeah, and actually, this one is sort of. I actually had, not me personally, but had some private experience with this, so I shared with him. But this is most directed to you because of something that you go through in your life. So this is from Anonymous. Hi, Spike, Mike, CJ, and Norman. I'm a longtime listener. August 2 sicko, perpetually bouncing between Mike and Spike Guy. I'm single, my mid-30s, and recently dealing with some post-infectious IBS. Long story short, I traveled abroad, drank the wrong type of water, and have been going to the bathroom a lot for the past few months. It's stressful for sure, and probably one of the biggest stressors has been getting back into dating. Finding a partner is important to me. Before this issue, I had been meeting people on apps, going out for dinner, drinks, etc. It was fun. Now it feels like work. I'm finding it hard to stay motivated when I have to be so picky about dinner or drinks, thinking strategically about where the bathroom is and when to go. Not to mention how to navigate the etc. part if it gets that far. Maybe I just need to lower my expectations or ditch my embarrassment. I wonder if Mike could share any tips from his time dealing with similar things, or if Spike can offer anything from his own experience.
Hell yeah. Well, first of all, everybody poops. Everybody be pooping.
Yep.
I do recommend our friends at BodyBio.
Yes, sodium butyrate.
Gut Plus when it's back on the market.
Promo code Norman.
etc. And if you have, for me, it is especially tough in the morning. And I'm also, the combination of like morning and also hungry guy.
Mm-hmm.
And those combinations sometimes make it hard to, if I have to go somewhere very early in the morning or something. So honestly, I pop an Imodium from time to time when I need to make sure. And for some people that are on the other side of the spectrum, they that would back them up for a long time. For me, it does the trick. I'm back to regular right the next day, all good. So in a pinch, in a must need, that's worked for me. But I empathize, and sometimes getting in your head about it is definitely like it's an annoying thing. But you deal with it with how you can. So I think I saw a what's the doctor? What's the butt doctor? Stomach doctor?
I don't know.
One of the ones.
Okay.
I asked him about the Imodium. I was like, is it bad if I do that? And he was like, no, it's fine. So, because I was like, am I going to forever fuck up my colon or something? And he said no. So it's all good. I think good luck to you, and I empathize with it.
Now, having never had that issue,
gastroenterologist. Thank you to the chat. That's the one I meant.
Is what?
Gastroenterologist. Is
Oh, I thought you were looking for the name of a specific doctor.
Oh, no.
I was like, is there some famous butt doctor? What are you talking about?
Famous butt doctor. There should become one.
The only thing I would add is that, to your point at the beginning about everybody poops, is that honesty. If this is somebody that you're going to end up dating for a while, you saying, hey, I think the IBS has had enough like publicity in that people know what it is, and people are generally pretty kind. So if you say, hey, I have a stomach thing, I could only go to a restaurant like this, or this would be better for me, most people are going to be pretty, understanding about that. I think like trying to hide it and then you have to run away for 10 minutes at some point is probably worse. I could understand the issue, but I think a little bit of honesty probably would go a long way, and don't just expect the best out of people rather than the worst in this particular situation. So
this is deep August 2.
Yep.
We're giving out butt advice.
Yep. So Well, good luck digging your hole, which is today. And good luck to your friend who is getting married.
Maybe I take a shit in the hole.
Oh, there you go. Wherever
happy
you're going,
wedding.
dig a hole earlier.
That's actually pretty smart. That's smart heads up. Smart
Is
planning. Doing a dig in a hole and then giving a speech and then and flying back to LA tomorrow. We're in the muck.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Well, we have training camp in 2 weeks. So very exciting. August is almost over.
It has been many Augusts,
Yep.
and it does feel like nothing has happened in a while. And then I saw Kate Scott posted, like, we're back soon, and it just was like, already? Like, it simultaneously both.
Yeah, before we know it, it's going to be like, oh my God, there's another game.
It's going to be, another season with expectations.
Yeah. This is what everybody wants.
That's what we want.
More
That's
expectations.
That's good for my heart health.
Yeah. All right. We will talk to you next time. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah. You know.